Charlie Munger, the billionaire business partner of Warren Buffett and one of the most brilliant minds in economic history, once said something that haunts every single person trying to build wealth. He didn't talk about investing in the next big tech stock, or flipping real estate, or finding a lottery ticket crypto coin. He said something much darker, much more honest, and much more painful. He said that the first $100,000 is a bitch, but you have to do it. He said that it doesn't matter if you have to walk to work, it doesn't matter if you have to eat coupons, and it doesn't matter if you have to wear the same clothes for 3 years. You have to find a way to get your hands on that first chunk of capital. Why? Because until you do, you are not just poor. You are trapped. Most people think that wealth is a linear game. They think that saving $10,000 takes exactly 10 times the effort of saving $1,000. But that is a lie. That is the lie that keeps the middle class working until they die. The truth is that money has mass. Money has gravity. And when you are starting from zero, you are not just building wealth. You are fighting against the gravitational pull of your own survival. Imagine you are trying to push a car that is broken down. You are standing behind it. Your shoes are slipping on the pavement. Your muscles are screaming, and you are pushing with every ounce of strength you have. But the car doesn't move. You are exerting 100% of your energy, and you are getting 0% results. This is the stage where 99% of people quit. They look at their bank account after 3 months of sacrifice. They see a few $100s, and they think the system is rigged. They think that saving money is a scam. But what they don't realize is that they were just seconds away from the wheels starting to turn. This video is not about cutting coffee. It is not about telling you to stop enjoying your life. This is about the physics of financial escape velocity. We are going to break down exactly why the first $10,000 feels impossible. The psychological traps that the economy sets for you to ensure you never reach it, and the mathematical reality of what happens the moment you cross that finish line. Because once you get that first $10,000, the car starts to roll. And once it rolls, you can push it with one hand. Eventually, you can stop pushing altogether and just enjoy the ride. But first, we have to talk about the enemy. The enemy is not the government, and the enemy is not your boss. The enemy is a mathematical law called Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law states that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. But in economics, it has a darker meaning. Expenses always rise to meet income. Think about your life. When you were a student or working your first job, you likely survived on very little money. You ate cheap food, you shared a room, you took the bus. Today, you probably make double or triple what you made back then. But are you saving double or triple the money? Probably not. You might even be saving less. Why? Because as your income grew, your needs mysteriously grew with it. You convinced yourself that you needed a better apartment because the old one was unsafe. You needed a better car because the old one was unreliable. You needed better clothes because of your new position. This is not an accident. The entire global economy is engineered to weaponize Parkinson's law against you. Every billboard, every Instagram ad, and every notification on your phone is designed to trigger a dopamine response that can only be satisfied by spending money. They are not selling you products. They are selling you an identity. They tell you that successful people drive this car. Successful people wear this watch. And because you want to be successful, you buy the costume of success instead of building the reality of it. This is why you can have a doctor earning $200,000 a year who is living paycheck to paycheck, and a janitor earning $40,000 a year who retires a millionaire. The doctor is a victim of Parkinson's law. The janitor conquered it. So how do you break this cycle? How do you actually get to that first $10,000 when it feels like the world is conspiring to take every cent you earn? You have to understand the concept of the gap. The gap is the space between your ego and your income. The wider the gap, the faster you become wealthy. Most people try to close the gap. They get a raise, and they immediately reward themselves. They treat themselves because they deserve it. But the person who builds the first $10,000 is the person who treats their future self better than their present self. This requires a level of psychological warfare against your own brain. You have to look at money differently. When you have $0 saved, every dollar you spend is a dollar that is gone forever. It is dead. It has left your life and it will never return. But when you have $10,000 invested, money changes its nature. It stops being something you spend and it starts being something that works for you. Let's look at the math, because the math doesn't care about your feelings. If you have $0, your money has 0 employees. You are the only one waking up at 7 a.m. You are the only one dealing with the traffic. You are the only one answering the angry emails. But let's say you struggle, and you fight, and you claw your way to that first $10,000, and you invest it in a simple index fund returning 7%. Suddenly, you have a breakthrough. That $10,000 earns $700 a year. That is roughly $2 a day. Now $2 a day sounds pathetic. You can't even buy a coffee with $2. And this is where the average person gives up. They say, what is the point? Why did I sacrifice for a year just to earn $2 a day? But they are missing the miracle. That $2 is the first money you have ever earned in your entire life that you did not trade your time for. That $2 was generated while you were sleeping. It was generated while you were eating lunch. It was generated while you were on vacation. It is the first time in your life that you have separated your time from your income. And once you see that first trickle of passive income, something clicks in your brain. You realize that if you can get to 10,000, you can get to 100,000. And if you get to 100,000, that same 7% return is now $7,000 a year. Now your money is paying for your groceries. Get to 1 million, and your money is paying for your life. But we are getting ahead of ourselves. We are still at the bottom of the mountain. We are still pushing the broken car. How do we actually do it? How do we find that first $10,000 in a world where rent is high and wages are stagnant? We have to declare war on the 3 biggest wealth killers: housing, transportation, and food. The average person spends 70% of their income on these 3 things. If you are trying to save by cutting your Netflix subscription or buying generic brand toilet paper, you are fighting a losing battle. That is like trying to empty the ocean with a teaspoon. You need to make a radical structural change. This might mean moving to a smaller apartment for 2 years. It might mean getting a roommate when you are 30 years old. It might mean selling the car that you love and driving the beat-up Honda Civic that embarrasses you. This is the part that Munger was talking about. This is the bitch part. It hurts your ego. People will judge you. Your friends will ask if you are having money problems. And you have to be strong enough to smile and say, "No, I am buying my freedom." Because the truth is, looking rich is the fastest way to stay poor. The people who are driving the BMWs and living in the luxury condos are often the ones with the lowest net worth, because they are financing a lifestyle they cannot afford to impress people they do not like. Once you have lowered your structural costs, you need to automate the process. Willpower is a battery and it runs out. If you have to make the decision to save money every single month, you will fail. You will have a bad day, you will feel sad, and you will buy something to make yourself feel better. That is human nature. So you have to remove the human element. You need to set up an automatic transfer that hits your account the exact same day your paycheck does. The money should leave your checking account and go into a separate savings account at a different bank before you even have a chance to see it. If you don't see it, you don't spend it. You learn to live on what is left. It is painful for the first 3 months. You will feel broke. But then, a strange thing happens. You adapt. You figure it out. And 6 months later, you look at that other account and you see $5,000, then $6,000, then $10,000. This brings us to the most important shift. The shift from a consumer mindset to a producer mindset. A consumer sees $1,000 and thinks, what can I buy with this? A producer sees $1,000 and thinks, how can I use this to make more money? When you are saving your first $10,000, you are in the ugly phase of being a producer. You are practically working for free. You are denying yourself pleasure today for a promise of freedom tomorrow. It feels unfair. It feels like you are missing out. But let me tell you what you are actually doing. You are buying back your dignity. When you have zero savings, you are a slave to your employer. If your boss yells at you, you have to take it. If they ask you to work late, you have to say yes. If they cut your pay, you have to beg. Because you are one missed paycheck away from disaster. But when you have $10,000 in the bank, your posture changes. You walk differently. You speak differently. You don't have that desperate look in your eyes anymore. If your boss is toxic, you know you can quit and survive for 3 or 4 months while you find something better. That $10,000 is not just cash, it is runaway money. It is the foundation of your self-respect. There is a concept in aerospace engineering called escape velocity. To get a rocket off the Earth and into space, it takes a massive amount of fuel. The rocket has to fight the thickest part of the atmosphere and the strongest pull of gravity right at the beginning. It burns 80% of its fuel just to get off the ground. But once it breaks through the atmosphere, once it gets into orbit, it can travel around the world at 17,000 miles per hour using almost zero fuel. Your financial life works the exact same way. The first $10,000 is the launch. It is the heavy lifting. It is the noise and the fire and the struggle. But you are doing it so that one day you can reach orbit. And here is the beautiful secret that nobody tells you. It gets easier. It gets so much easier. Saving your second $10,000 takes half the time of the first. Saving your third takes even less. Why? Because now you have help. You have your habits, you have your discipline, and you have that little army of dollars working for you in the background. The compounding effect starts to take over. The snowball starts to roll down the hill on its own. You stop being the person pushing the car, and you become the driver steering it. But you have to start, and you have to start now. Not next month, not when you get a raise, not when the economy gets better. You have to start when it is hard. Because if you wait for it to be easy, you will be waiting forever. The world is full of people who are waiting for the perfect time to start building their life. They are the ones who will be working until they are 75. Don't be one of them. Embrace the suck. Embrace the struggle. Accept that the next 12 months are going to be boring and difficult and unglamorous. Wear the old shoes, drive the old car. Cook your own meals. Because one day you are going to wake up, and you are going to check your account, and you are going to see a number with a comma in it. And you are going to realize that you didn't just save money, you saved yourself. You broke the gravitational pull of poverty. You reached escape velocity. And from that point on, the sky is not the limit. The sky is just the view. The wealth logic starts here. It starts with logic, not luck. It starts with discipline, not desire. The first $10,000 is the test. Pass the test, and the rest of your life belongs to you.